All right, you guys, this is just a walk along video. Um, just give me a second. You may have a hard time hearing me because I'm in the loud part of the building on my patrol. So just give me a second. I'm about to walk outside. It should quiet down some here in a second. So just give me a second. I know you're probably having a hard time hearing me over that ventilation system or whatever that is. I'm not sure what it is, but it's pretty loud. That's all I know. So yeah, I'm walking outside right now. Some more noise out here, like a little, I guess like a fan or air system or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what that thing is. It's loud though. That's all I know. So, but yeah, man. I'm just felt like doing a little walk around, walking, talking video. First person POV. So, yeah. I heard that we're supposed to be getting some pretty gnarly weather tonight. Down here in the South Carolina. Well, not just South Carolina, like South Carolina, Alabama, North Carolina. Basically a big chunk of the southern states are supposed to be getting some pretty gnarly weather later on tonight. So my parents didn't even know I had to call them and let them know that I let them know basically because they didn't know. I've been hearing about it all week, but they're still saying that it looks pretty gnarly. So just a precaution. I mean, I don't know how bad it's going to be, but they're talking about potential tornadoes and stuff like that, and they may be, sometimes the news likes to spice up stuff and kind of just kind of what's the word, hype it up. But after what happened last time, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I was just like, yeah, moms, pops, they're talking about something, and it's what's crazy is it's going to be like at midnight, so it's going to be really kind of going on supposedly while everybody's kind of sleeping or not really thinking about it, like midnight up until potentially 8 a.m. Sunday. Now I'm going to be at work, and at my third shift job. It's a brick building, but I let my parents know, like, hey, can y'all get Mojo if it gets too crazy out there? I'm going to leave my, so they can get my doggo. If it gets too crazy, hopefully you don't get that bad. Hopefully it's just a little bit of wind and rain and stuff like that. But if it does, like, just get Mojo for me and make sure he's okay and get to safety, obviously, especially with my dad. He can't really see that well. So, I kind of just try to keep them aware of stuff that they might not know, So, but anyway, but yeah, that's not what the video's about. I was just subconsciously thinking about it. Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, so, but yeah, I was just thinking about, see, the sky is kind of like really gray right now. It's got that kind of, ominous kind of, I mean, it's been cloudy before, obviously, but, it's just, it looked like it's about to storm. So, but me personally, I try not to get too anxious about stuff like that. I just try to be aware and prepared. So, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever it's going to do is going to do. And we figure it out best we can, But hopefully, don't get that bad, If it does, and it just does, we figure it out and keep it moving. But yeah, I don't know if y'all know or not, but I'm not going to be at this job too much longer. I did not plan that. Um, so basically, like everybody here just found out. I mentioned it in my other video, my last video, that yeah, I'm not going to be here much longer. This job just kind of abruptly ended. I'm pretty bummed about it because I really like this job. For a job, it's very peaceful and laid back. Nobody really bothers me. I kind of just, keep an eye on certain things, but it's not a bunch of, I know I'm at work, but it's not a bunch of little dumb tasks I have to do. I mean, I do stuff, I work, but it's not like other jobs I've been at. Like I can honestly say this is the best job I've ever had. Everyone here is super nice. They're always doing, little nice things like, throwing, dinners and, giving us nice food and good food at that. Just overall nice company, nice people, and yeah, they're shutting down. And the crazy part about it is like, the staff here didn't even know until I found out. So, corporate over their head kind of, just kind of left them in the dark too. So like they're finding out the same as I am. Normally, like the contractors or the temp workers or whatever, they're left in the dark. But like the main workers, they were like left in the dark too. And they're just finding out too. I'm like, man, that's crazy, bruh. Because they was doing like, little renovations and stuff like that. Matter of fact, they had just, according to my supervisor, they had just re-signed another 5-year contract with my security company. So I would have been here at least another guaranteed 5 years because we had just renewed our contract for another 5 years. So like that right there tells me that the people that work here didn't even know that they were shut down until the very last minute. So I'm just like, man, that's grimy, bro. Like, how you not gonna tell your own people like to the last? These are your workers. So like, it's the people like above, like that. It's a corporate. It was a corporate decision basically. So I'm just like, man. I mean, I understand that everything is just business, and it probably wasn't nothing personal, but damn, bro, shit. So yeah, like my last day here, I talked to HR. It's going to be April 30th. I have no idea where they're going to place me at. I have a second job, but I only work there part time. I've been putting in more apps just in case. But normally, if something happens with the site, my security agency or company, they'll place me somewhere else. But being placed somewhere else, is different pay. It's a different schedule. It's a whole different. I have no idea what to expect. And this is assuming that they find something by April 30th. I mean, they should. It's enough time. But I have no idea, like, where they're going to place me at, like, what kind of company. I mean, it could suck. I might work with people I don't like. I might get paid less. I don't know. I have no idea what my pay is going to be. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing specifically. I have no clue. So I'm really, really not liking that. Just getting suddenly uprooted like that because, a lot of other places, they want to either like pay you super low or, just the job itself just ain't jobbing. So I'm definitely not looking forward to that. But I'm trying to keep a positive mindset and just, look at it in a sense of, it was just time for me. The universe said, okay, well, where you headed next? This is the adjustment that has to be made. I'm trying not to look at it as a negative thing. I'm trying to just, accept it for what it is and keep a positive, open mindset, which is what I'm doing. Having to force myself to do because it could end up being a good thing. It could basically align things to where, my plans to travel or whatever become more easier to access and accomplish. So I'm trying to just, alchemize my mindset and look at it as a positive thing. And a lot of times when things happen the way they do, it ends up, it may not start out that way, but it ends up being a positive thing. So I'm trying to just keep an open mind and, just, not be, you know, looking at things from oh man, I don't want, because I really, really like it here. I'm really comfortable here. I got my own space. I got my own office. I've never had my own office to myself with like two computer screens and also like another computer on the side of me. My own little window near the, airport. I can watch planes take off all day. I mean, this was a really, really nice, peaceful, laid back, chill job. And I'm really going to miss working here. I really am. There's not many jobs that I can say that I miss working at. There may be certain people that I think about every now and then that I work with, but actual jobs itself, I don't think I ever have just like missed a job itself. I'm going to miss this job. This is a really good job. And yeah, I mean, it's going to kind of suck, but one thing, I keep, realizing is one thing about life is it's, how does the saying go? There's one constant in life, and that's change, and things are always changing, constantly changing. So I'm trying to just keep, like I said, keep a positive mindset. I'm not really worried about work. I'm sure I'll have, I'll have something by the 30th or before then. Because I'm the type of person where if I even think that I'm going to have a loss of income, like I'm instantly, putting in applications or, calling my second job and asking them to have extra hours by this date, which that's a second precaution that I also made. I called my second part-time job, my third shift job, and notified them by the 30th, I would be having a potentially more open schedule. So April 30th, I let them know that, hey, I'll be open to work at, more hours or at different locations, or vice versa, whatever. So they know, they put that, in their scheduling book. So, in the worst case scenario, in case something happens where, for whatever, they don't have any extra work, which is very unlikely by April 30th, but it's possible, anything's possible. I let my other job know that I will be open to, work in, other sites or pick up overtime or just start a second job with them in general. And then also too, I've been putting in applications the day that I found out. So I'm putting in applications, different places, security places. And yeah, I don't play about, my income, so, you gotta have a plan B and, plan A and B. I don't just go, oh man, my job's ending. What am I going to do? It's like, what do? You make sure you have other options, I don't understand people that they just kind of, get down about it. It's like, well, one thing I've learned about this life and I'm gotten used to is, kind of having to learn how to pivot in life and make adjustments when things happen and things do happen, because I planned on being here until, I went on the road. I had literally calculated my paychecks to where, I would need to be at between this job and my other job, out to a certain date, to basically buy my truck cash, pay my camper off, and just a few other things that I was going to accomplish before I got on the road. And so now that's not going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but now I had to adjust that. I got to adjust that, and, it's going to still happen, but I'm having to, adjust, when I go and how, depending on how much I make, and, it's fine. Like I said, life, you have to constantly adjust because it's constantly changing and pivot. And adjust to, the changing circumstances. And I'm kind of used to it, so it's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm not, I have to get a little bit uncomfortable again. I have to get into a new environment. I might be, working a different schedule, but it could possibly work out in my favor. A lot of times it does. A lot of times the universe gives you, not necessarily what you were expecting, but what you needed to put you in that reality that you were working towards anyway. So that's how I'm choosing to look at it. So, I'm not going to just, like I said, I am kind of bummed because, like I said, I'm very, very comfortable here. I'm not going to lie. A part of me is bummed. Um, but, it's just like that sometimes. There's not many jobs where I worked at where I can just come outside. I mean, I am on patrol technically, but there's not many jobs I can just come outside and kind of just, walk around at my leisure, without somebody saying, hey, what are you doing? You're taking too long, There's not many jobs that I can do that where people won't be, asking like, why are you not rushing to get your job done? Or, what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of jobs, they just kind of, down your throat or watching you super, super hard or, looking at you on camera. What are you doing out there? Why are you walking around? You should be working faster. You should be doing something else. But like here, it's not like that. It's just very laid back. And other employees kind of do that here too. I know I'll see them outside kind of walking around and kind of just, getting some fresh air and just kind of just enjoying, walking outside sometimes. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to miss working with some of the people here. So yeah, I mean, and I feel like it's a lot worse. It's a lot worse for some other people because a lot of them, I would imagine they have a lot more riding on their income than I do. You know, so but anyway, it's it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. That's just life. So yeah, it's just a walking, talking video. I just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't call it. There's a lot of changes going on right now. A lot of things in the universe, happening. But a lot of times, I look at it also too, like, for new worlds to be born, a lot of other things in your reality had to, be switched around and altered to allow space for another reality. The universe is alive. It's moving. It's morphing. Dimensions are constantly being altered. There's so much going on right now. Politically, spiritually, I believe, internally, with collectively and individually in ourselves, and it's pretty crazy right now. I definitely have felt it in myself, and I've definitely sensed it in the perceived outer world and others, and it's just a very, very chaotic but transformative time right now. I will say that. And my opinion is the sweet spot is finding, or the trick is finding the sweet spot between that chaos, and finding the sweet spot where the space is where you can transform, or some call it alchemize, with the chaotic energy and events and circumstances of the reality. I feel like existence is chaos. It's infinite chaos, but chaos is, in my opinion, infinite potentiality, meaning that chaos is not good or bad. Chaos is destructive and creative energy simultaneously. And, whether you ultimately experience definitive destruction or creation is, I believe it has a lot to do with how you particularly handle or choose to handle the circumstances, you know. So that's how I'm choosing to look at things, and I'm choosing to just keep a very, very alchemical mindset, meaning whatever circumstances I experience, I'm choosing to have the perspective of, you know, this kind of seems bad right now, but how can I turn this into a good thing? You know, let's say like I have to go to a different job and I don't necessarily like it. How can I transform that into something that gives me what I was trying to get anyway? And that's how I choose to look at everything now. You know, um, if something happens there, something happens there. I'm like water basically. Water is like it doesn't have any defined shape or no defined narrative. It's like, okay, well that kind of sucks, but if I look at it like this, then I can also make this happen or create this other reality because this happened this way. You know, and that's what I'm constantly, having to teach myself to do is kind of like Bruce Lee said, be like water, you know. Don't necessarily be defined by any situation. Don't label any situation necessarily as good or bad, because once you label it good or bad, that's when, you know, it becomes good or bad, you know. And I hate to sound so cliche, but this is something that's really helped me a lot in my life lately is just, any situation that you're going through, even like breakups and heartbreaks and stuff like that. Like my last breakup, you know, whether that girl realizes it or not, you know, I had true, love for her. I truly did care about her, but I had to make a choice and, let that relationship go because I definitely did not feel like it was good for my mental health, for my spiritual life or journey or condition. And I had to force myself to be honest with myself and not continue patterns of dealing with situations like that when, my internal spiritual or higher self was like, this ain't what you need, bro. You gotta you gotta let this go. Because ultimately it was making me sick, and she's not necessarily a horrible person, but as we all can be, sometimes people can be horrible when they are horrible. And like I said, I'm never going to call somebody just a bad person, or there was definitely things that I am definitely still working on and improving about myself. And I can definitely take away certain things that I saw that I needed to work on, like basically like being more intentional about making decisions and just learning how to just um, get better at making decisions. Basically, I feel like that's something that I'm having to get better at. Just basically deciding and making a choice and stuff like that. I've seen that I need to do better at just picking a direction and sticking to it and basically just deciding on what it's going to be for myself. So yeah, um, but ultimately there just wasn't enough space in that relationship uh, to work through the main issues. It was hard for me to walk away. And the old me would have just kind of stayed and kept being in many ways abused in narcissistic ways, and just allowing and accepting that type of situation and that kind of behavior. And it was just something inside me that was just like, you know what, no, 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 that's it. That's it. Like Kanye said, it's up. Like this is the new version of me where I just say no, this is not going to continue, and I'm choosing to end this here because I know that I don't deserve this. I know that I don't deserve what is going on here. I don't have to accept it, and I'm not going to because I'm worthy of not having to deal with this kind of thing. And I'm proud of myself because that's not something that I've always done. A lot of times I've just, I felt like, I've got to make the relationship work out, you know, either way. And, I was patient. I waited. I was extremely patient. And the issues that we were going through, it just was not. Even like when I have issues with a woman or a relationship, if I even see like small improvements, even if it's still an issue, if I see small, consistent improvements, I'm like, okay, she's at least trying. You know what I'm saying? If I see you at least trying to like not do what you're doing, but if I'm trying and doing everything that I can to resolve the relationship and give you what you supposedly saying you want and need from me, and you're not, then I'm like, no, this is not going to be one. I'm not going to be putting my all into making sure that you get communication, you get transparency, you get patience, you get understanding, you get, emotional support, you get someone looking out for your mental health to the best of their ability. If I'm giving you that, then I expect the same thing back. And I don't feel like I was getting that. If it was extremely, extremely, very little effort. So, yeah, I had to choose myself and say that my mental health and just my health in general was more important than this relationship. And I hated it, man. I hated walking away. And I don't even know why I even liked this woman that much because we're actually very different. But she kind of had that crazy wild side, I guess. I don't know. They say opposites attract. I don't know, but she's kind of like this chick from like the streets, I guess. She's she kind of had like a little bit of wild side to her, and I met her like years ago, back in like 2016, 17, and she was kind of going through a lot back then, and kind of, not to get too personal, but kind of having a hard time with his life in general. And I kind of, when I met her, kind of helped her out in some ways, but anyway, I've known her since back then, and we broke up back then, and then we got back together, and then broke up again, and then time went by, and then we got back together this last time unexpectedly. I don't really know why, but I guess I kept kind of hanging out with her on and off over the years, and I kind of started to like her again, and I really don't know why, because a lot of the things she even did back then were pretty fucked up, but for whatever reason, there was something about her that still attracted me to her. I really don't know why, but I was still attracted to her. It was more so like a non-physical attraction I had with her. I was attracted to her, physically too, but it was something like non-physical. It was something more spiritual, I guess. Maybe it's one of those kind of situations that they call a soul tie or something like that, or like a karmic tie. That's kind of what it feels like, because overall, like the relationship over the years between me and her was definitely not necessarily harmonious. I mean, the physical side, I'll put it that way, was really good. But, you know, and we had our moments where things were, you know, I guess nice, I guess you could say. But, just communication wise and harmony wise in a relationship, a lot of elements with our relationship was we're just missing a lot of things that makes relationships stable. Communication, consistency, trust, all the main things that we needed to be long lasting, just were never actually there. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that it was just more of like a physical thing. We just really hit it off physically for whatever reason. We just clicked, in that way. But you know, all I can do is just kind of learn from that situation, and and that's how I choose to look at it. I see it for what it was. I observe myself and my actions and my habits in that relationship, and I go, huh, why did I do that? Or why did I allow that? Or why was I even in that situation to begin with if it was missing, a lot of elements of a healthy relationship? And now I kind of look at myself like, how am I choosing the people I date? And again, I will never say anyone's horrible because, nobody's horrible. People do horrible things, but I don't want to ever call someone horrible. Um, she did do what I would consider horrible things, really cold-hearted things, but she has a very sweet, loving side to her too that I've also seen. That I will always cherish that memory and of that side of her that I got to I guess you could say experience and know. Um, but I did cut her off simply because of how over the years I've came back in contact with her and be kind of reconnected, and then this is like the third time, and this time I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I can't reconnect with you again. um, I did block her. She has tried to reach back out multiple times, but I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, respectfully, but because of how things went, I don't think it's in my best interest or your best interest for us to keep even contacting anymore, because all we're going to do is end up reconnecting and restarting this whole karmic thing again, and I don't think that's what we need. So I cut her off, and I have not reached back out to her, and I have not answered her calls, and she has called and sent me text messages. It's like, I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't. Do I still care about you? Yeah, but I can't go there again. It's done. It's done. I know when to not open up a chapter again, and it's a really hard thing to just say, no, I'm sorry, I can't reconnect with you. I'm sorry, but it's just time to just cut this thing off for good. It's hard, I got love for her still, but it's not, I know that it's not my best interest. I tried with her multiple times, and I'm not willing to go through that again. I learned or experienced what I need to learn and experience, and it's time to keep it pushing and um, go on with my life. Wish her the best of luck, but I got to keep moving. So anyway, yeah, just a rant. A lot of changes coming here soon. Not really sure what's going to happen next necessarily, or how it's going to happen. But whatever happens, I know that as always, I can turn it into a favorable, a a good thing, you know. I can turn it into a, what's the word? I forget the word, but I can turn it into a good thing, you know. That's one thing I've had to learn how to get good at doing. And I've actually gotten really good at using any situation and turning it into a good thing, you know, no matter what. And coming out better than what I originally was before the situation had arisen. So, yeah, that's basically the update with me. And I may make another video today. I'm not really sure. I may need to run home on my break and make sure that, you know, Mojo's good, and basically make sure that my windows on my RV are closed, because I don't need that getting wet or, you know, getting messed up. So, yeah, I might have to run home briefly and come back down here, because it's about to pour and get really gnarly here in a little bit. And before that happens, I need to make sure that you know, my spot is good, because I know for a fact that I did leave my window open, and when it rains hard enough, that water can get inside. So I'm going to end the video here, y'all. Until next time, take it easy, and I will check with you guys, or well, I'll see you guys or talk to you guys later. I don't know about checking in with you guys. I will talk to y'all later in the next video. Later.